The notification on my phone said someone had filed for disability benefits using my service record 3 days ago. I stared at the screen in my barracks room at Fort Drum. The message came from my credit monitoring app at 0347 hours. Someone had accessed my military benefits profile, filed a claim, used my social security number and service history. The problem was simple. I never filed anything. My name is Damian Greer. I'm 28 years old, second lieutenant in the U.S. Army, currently stationed at Fort Drum, New York, preparing for my second to Eastern Europe in 6 weeks. I screenshot the alert, opened my banking app. Everything looked normal there. Checked my credit report through the app. Clean. No new accounts, no suspicious activity. But the benefits alert was real. Someone had my information. Someone was using it. I called the Veterans Affairs helpline. Waited 43 minutes on hold. The representative confirmed it. A disability claim had been filed under my name and social security number. Filed from an address in Phoenix, Arizona. I'd never been to Phoenix. Never lived there. Never even visited. Sir, the claim shows you as having a dependent spouse, the representative said. Filed jointly with spousal benefits attached. I'm not married. Never have been. No dependents on my record anywhere. What's the spouse's name? I asked. Melissa Cordova. Shows her as your wife since 2019. I wrote down the name. Melissa Cordova. Never heard it before in my life. The representative gave me a case number. Told me to file a fraud report. Said it would take weeks to investigate. Maybe months. I hung up. Sat on my bunk. Stared at the name I'd written down. Someone had created an entire fake marriage. Used my military service record. Filed for benefits I'd never requested. Benefits that would pay out thousands of dollars monthly. My phone buzzed again. Another alert. This time from a different monitoring service. Someone had requested a copy of my DD-214 discharge papers. Except I haven't been discharged. I'm active duty. Have been for 6 years. I called my dad in Colorado. Needed to tell someone what was happening. He didn't answer. Went straight to voicemail. I left a message. Asked him to call back. Said it was important. 2 hours later he called back. Sounded distracted. Said he was busy with his girlfriend. They were handling some paperwork together. Something about insurance forms. What kind of paperwork? I asked. Just boring stuff, son. Nothing important. What did you need? I told him about the benefits fraud, the fake marriage, the mysterious woman named Melissa Cordova. He went quiet for a long time. Dad, you still there? Yeah, I'm here. That's really strange, Damien. You should definitely report it. Something in his voice changed. Got careful, guarded, like he was choosing his words too precisely. Have you ever heard the name Melissa Cordova? I asked. Another long pause. Too long. No, he said finally. Never heard that name before. But his voice cracked slightly when he said it. 3 months earlier, everything seemed normal. Dad had started dating again after Mom died 2 years ago. Said he met someone at the community center in Denver. Her name was Linda Vasquez, 52 years old, worked as a medical billing specialist. Seemed nice enough during our video calls. I was happy for him. He'd been alone too long. Needed companionship. Linda appeared caring. Asked about my cell. Sent care packages. Even wrote thank you notes for my service. The first warning sign came in October. Dad mentioned Linda was helping him organize his files. Said she was good with paperwork. Had experience with government forms from her job. She was helping him update his insurance beneficiaries, making sure everything was current. She's really organized, he told me during one of our calls. Found mistakes in my VA paperwork I never noticed. I thought it was sweet, someone looking out for him, making sure his affairs were in order. The second warning sign was subtler. Dad started asking questions about my military benefits, how much I received monthly, whether I had life insurance, what happened to benefits if something happened to me overseas. Said Linda was curious about how military families were taken care of. I answered his questions, didn't think much of it, figured Linda was just trying to understand my world better. In November, Dad mentioned Linda was helping him with computer stuff, setting up online accounts, teaching him how to use banking apps. Said she was patient with technology, really knew her way around digital systems. She's got me all set up now, he said. Can check everything online, much easier than driving to the bank. I was glad he was learning. Technology wasn't his strong suit. Having someone help him navigate the digital world seemed beneficial. The third warning sign came during Thanksgiving. Dad said Linda couldn't join our video call. She was busy helping a friend with some paperwork emergency. Something about benefits applications. Said she did that kind of work on the side sometimes. She's really good at navigating government systems, Dad explained. Helps people who don't understand the forms. I started feeling uneasy. Something about the way he described her expertise with government paperwork. How comfortable she seemed with benefit systems. How much she knew about military families. After the phone call about the fake marriage, I couldn't shake my suspicions. The timing felt wrong. Dad's girlfriend was an expert with government forms. She'd been helping him with his paperwork. She knew about military benefits. And now someone was using my information to file fraudulent claims. I called my buddy Marcus Chen at Fort Campbell. He'd helped me with computer issues before. Former IT specialist before he switched to infantry. Still knew his way around digital investigations. I need you to help me trace something, I told him. Someone's using my identity for benefits fraud. What kind of fraud? Fake marriage. Fake spouse named Melissa Cordova. Filed joint claims using my service record. Marcus was quiet for a moment. That's sophisticated stuff, man. Whoever did this knows the system, had access to your personal information, your social security number, your military ID details. That's what worries me. Send me everything you have. I'll see what I can dig up. I forwarded him the case numbers, the alerts from my monitoring services, screenshots of the fraudulent claims. Marcus said he'd start investigating immediately. 2 days later, he called back. Found something interesting, he said. The address used for Melissa Cordova's benefits application. It's in Denver, Colorado. My stomach dropped. What's the address? He read it off. I recognized the street name. It was 3 blocks from my dad's house. There's more, Marcus continued. The phone number on the application. It's registered to a Linda Vasquez. The pieces click together like a rifle bolt sliding into place. Linda Vasquez. My dad's girlfriend. The medical billing specialist who was so good with government paperwork. Who helped people navigate benefit systems. Who had access to my dad's files. Who knew about my military service. Who had been asking questions about my benefits for months. Marcus, I said slowly. I think my dad's girlfriend is Melissa Cordova. You think she's using a fake name? No, I think she's using my information to create a fake marriage. To herself. Under a different identity. Marcus whistled low. That's next-level fraud, brother. She'd need your social security number, your military service details, access to your personal records. She had all of that, through my dad. This is federal crime territory. Identity theft. Benefits fraud. Wire fraud if money crossed state lines. I felt cold rage building in my chest. This woman had wormed her way into my father's life. Gained his trust. Used that trust to access my personal information. Then created an elaborate fraud scheme using my military service. I need proof, I said. Something concrete before I accuse her. I'm already working on it. Give me 48 hours. Marcus called back the next evening. His voice was grim. Got the proof you need. Melissa Cordova doesn't exist. It's a fabricated identity. But the social security number used? It belongs to Linda Vasquez. She's been using your military information to file benefits claims under this fake marriage. Claims totaling $47,000 over the past 8 months. $47,000. Stolen using my name, my service record, my sacrifice. There's more, Marcus continued. She's done this before. Found records of similar schemes in 3 other states. Different names, different fake marriages, always targeting military families. Always using her access to personal information through relationships. My dad wasn't her first victim. He was just her latest mark. I called Special Agent Garcia at the State Bureau of Investigation the next morning. Marcus had given me her direct line. She specialized in Social Security fraud cases involving military personnel. Agent Garcia, this is Second Lieutenant Damian Greer. I need to report identity theft and benefits fraud. What's the scope of the theft, Lieutenant? $47,000. Stolen military benefits. Fake marriage documentation. Multiple state jurisdictions. Send me everything you have. We'll need to coordinate with federal agencies. I forwarded Marcus's research. Bank records. The fake marriage certificate. Linda's real identity documentation. Her pattern of previous frauds across state lines. Agent Garcia called back within 2 hours. Lieutenant, this is bigger than we initially thought. Linda Vasquez is part of an organized fraud ring. We've been tracking similar cases for 18 months. Your connects several open investigations. What do you need from me? We need you to help us catch her in the canais. Are you willing to participate in a controlled operation? I didn't hesitate. Yes. We'll need you to confront her. Get her to admit the fraud on recording. Can you arrange a meeting? She's at my dad's house every weekend. I can fly back to Syracuse. Perfect. We'll wire you up. Have backup position nearby. But Lieutenant, this woman is dangerous. She's not just stealing money. She's destroying lives. I took emergency leave, flew back to Syracuse on Friday night. Agent Garcia met me at the airport with recording equipment and a detailed operation plan. The device is voice-activated, she explained. Hidden in your jacket collar. We'll have agents positioned within 2 blocks of your father's house. If things go wrong, use the code phrase, "I need to call my commanding officer." Saturday morning, I drove to my dad's house. Linda's car was in the driveway. My hands were steady on the steering wheel, but my jaw was clenched tight. Dad answered the door. "Damien, what a surprise. You didn't tell me you were coming home. I need to talk to Linda about some paperwork issues." Linda appeared behind him, smiling, confident. She had no idea what was coming. "Of course, honey. What kind of paperwork?" "Benefits paperwork. There's been some confusion with my military records." We sat in the living room. Dad excused himself to make coffee. Linda leaned, concerned. "What kind of confusion?" "Someone's been filing claims using my information. Claims for a spouse I don't have." Her face didn't change. Professional. Helpful. "That sounds like identity theft. Have you contacted the authorities?" "Not yet. I wanted to understand how someone could access my personal information first. Well, military records are pretty secure. They'd need your social security number, your service details, maybe even access to your family's personal files." She was good, deflecting suspicion while providing exactly the information that would incriminate her. "The strange thing is," I continued, "the fake spouse has the same first name as you, Linda." "That is strange. Common name, though. Linda Vasquez. Ring any bells?" Her smile faltered for just a second, then returned full force. "Vasquez is my maiden name, but I've never filed any military benefits claims." "No, but Melissa Cordova has, using my social security number, claiming to be married to me." The color drained from her face. "I don't know what you're talking about. Melissa Cordova is you, Linda. You created a fake identity, used my dad's trust to access my personal information, then filed $47,000 in fraudulent benefits claims." She stood up quickly. "I think you're confused. Maybe stress. I have the bank records, the marriage certificate, your real social security number tied to the fake identity." Linda sat back down. Her helpful mask was slipping. "You can't prove anything. I already have. The State Bureau of Investigation has been tracking you for months. This isn't your first fraud scheme." "Your dad doesn't know, does he?" she said quietly. "Not yet." "He loves me. This would destroy him." "You should have thought about that before you stole from his son." Linda was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke again, her voice was different, calculating. "How much do you want to make this go away?" "I want my money back. All of it. I can get you $20,000 by Monday. The rest will take time." "You're admitting you stole it?" "I'm admitting I made some mistakes with paperwork. Got confused about whose information belonged to whom." $47,000 worth of confusion? It wasn't supposed to go this far. I needed money for my mother's medical bills. The system made it so easy. Military benefits, veteran spouse claims. No one checks closely. "So you've done this before?" "A few times. Different states, different relationships, but never this much money." "How many other families have you destroyed?" Linda's mask was completely gone now, cold, predatory. "Families like yours are easy targets. Deployed soldiers, trusting fathers, access to personal information. It's almost too simple. And you feel no guilt about it?" "Guilt doesn't pay bills. Your dad's a sweet man, but he's not rich. I needed a better long-term plan. Using my military service, Your service record made you perfect. Clean credit. Steady income. Deployed overseas so you wouldn't notice the paperwork irregularities for months. I had everything I needed. Her full confession. Details about previous frauds. Admission of premeditation. I need to call my commanding officer, I said. Within minutes, Agent Garcia and 2 other investigators were at the door. Linda tried to run through the backyard. They caught her before she reached the fence. Dad came out of the kitchen holding 2 coffee cups. His face went white as they handcuffed Linda in his living room. Damien, what's happening? She's been stealing from me, Dad, using my military benefits. $47,000. He set the coffee cups down carefully, sat in his chair, aged 10 years and 10 seconds. How long? He asked Linda. 8 months, Agent Garcia answered. She's also wanted in connection with similar frauds in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Linda was charged with identity theft, wire fraud, and conspiracy to commit benefits fraud. Federal charges because the crimes crossed state lines. She pled guilty 6 weeks later in exchange for a reduced sentence. The judge sentenced her to 4 years in federal prison. Full restitution of $47,000. 5 years supervised probation after release. Agent Garcia helped me recover most of the stolen money within 3 months. The federal government expedited the benefits restoration process. Your case helped us close 7 other investigations, she told me. Linda Vasquez was part of a larger network targeting military families. You broke the whole operation open. I helped them contact other victims, testified in 2 additional cases. Watched 3 more conspirators get sentenced. My dad struggled with the betrayal. He trusted Linda completely, given her access to family documents. Personal information. Our home. I should have seen the signs, he said. She was a professional, Dad. This is what she did for a living. I put you at risk. Your future, your security. You couldn't have known. But I could see the guilt eating at him. The shame of being manipulated. Of inadvertently helping someone steal from his own son. 6 months later, I was back at Fort Drum. The investigation was closed. The money recovered. Linda Vasquez was serving her sentence at a federal facility in West Virginia. My benefits were fully restored. Credit score back to normal. The fraud alerts finally stopped coming. Dad and I talked every Sunday now. He'd moved to a smaller apartment. Said he needed a fresh start. Couldn't stay in the house where Linda had lived, where she'd stolen from his son. I'm dating again, he told me last week. Slowly. Very slowly. Good for you, Dad. I'm being more careful this time. Background checks, references, the whole 9 yards. I laughed. You don't need to hire a private investigator. Maybe I do. The trust would take time to rebuild. For both of us. But we were working on it. Agent Garcia called me in March. 3 more arrests in the network. Linda had given them everything in exchange for early parole consideration. Your case was the domino that brought down the whole operation, she said. 17 victims got their money back because you fought this. I had learned something about betrayal during those months. It doesn't just steal money. It steals your ability to trust. Your sense of security. Your faith in the people closest to you. But it also teaches you to be stronger, more careful, more aware. I volunteer at a VA identity theft helpline every weekend, help other veterans navigate the same nightmare I went through, walk them through the reporting process, the collection, the long wait for justice. Last Saturday, I talked to a Marine whose brother had stolen his disability benefits, $43,000 over 2 years. The pain in his voice was familiar. Will I get it back? He asked. Most of it, and we'll make sure he pays for what he did. How do you know? Because I've been where you are, and I'm still here. The work felt meaningful, necessary, like turning the worst experience of my life into something useful for others. My apartment was quiet now. No fraud alerts, no suspicious phone calls, no late-night investigations, just the normal sounds of military life. Reveille at 0600, mess hall conversations, training exercises. The silence was different than before, not empty, earned. I'd fought for it, bled for it, watched a woman I trusted get handcuffed in my father's living room for it. It was finally over, and the silence felt earned.